Thank you for joining me for this special coverage of In Perfect Harmony.
Big win for Florida State off the field. Do you see this guy? He's got a green shirt on, and what we've highlighted, I know it's blurry. That object is a machete.
I'm here to talk to you about Miss Ann Langford. You signed a contract for her. She's paying money for an extended warranty, and she doesn't have it. Can you tell me anything about that?
This memorial keeps growing for the 80-year-old woman plowed over by a car on Matt Lachey.
Here's the newsroom. The flooring is gone, and if you that used to all be carpet, but of course this all flooded. Even Thursday morning when our managers came in, they said it was still flooded. Just to give you a sense, here's my foot. You can see how much drywall they had to cut out.
I want to stress you out even more as you're kicking off the work week, but just a reminder, you have exactly 1 week to file those 2023 taxes.
Over the next half hour, I'll show you the incredible food, one-of-a-kind auction items, and of course all the wine you can drink.
You sat on the couch and watched the Masters on Wink yesterday and just snacked and snacked. You can go take that extra lap when you're walking around the neighborhood this morning. It will feel nice. Let's play this video here. See those headlights and watch. That car tumbles. And look at that, just turned over and over, slamming into the shop.
If you're just waking up with us this morning, there have been quite a few changes in this shift. Again, unfortunately, not in our favor. Coastal communities, Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach, there are so many areas that if you have been trying to hold out, hoping that that shift would happen more westwardly, now is the time, and you do have time still, but that window is very much so shrinking. We do just want to remind you, as we are going to be heading through these next 24 hours where it's guaranteed we are going to lose power at some point. If you have a battery operated radio, we are going to be simulcasting and walking you through every step of the way on 96.9 Wink FM, as well as 101.1 Wave FM. If you're looking at the 11 p.m. update and hoping maybe there's going to be a change, at this point, folks, this is very much a Southwest Florida storm. We do get our next full advisory at 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's when Casey and Nash Rhodes and our team are going to be alerting you. But I think waiting to see if it shifts west, it doesn't matter at this point. We are going to feel the brunt of this. Yeah. Our studio in downtown Fort Myers was flooded, suffered power loss. I believe it was more than 90% of Southwest Florida that dealt with similar issues. So we know you understand so well. So we are in this makeshift studio making lemonade out of lemons. Here we are 9 days later, and we are still going wall to wall. So it's kind of a construction zone in here. TV might be a little bit ugly, and I'm going to have to probably speak up because you can hear we are now working in a work zone. Actually, look right here. All the amazing teams. Hi, thank you for helping us out with Servpro, cleaning everything up. This is that side entrance you walk in, and then here is our newsroom. Joseph, be careful. We've got a lot of the different fans drying everything out here.
Tox analysis does take a long time. It could be months before those results are back. But the mayoral race and the city council race will undergo mandatory recounts because the votes were so close. You see firefighters? They were trying to break through the ceiling and doors of an apartment after responding to a fire. And look at this, because it gives you a good sense of how huge that scene was. So have you ever heard of sleep divorce? It is a thing, and actually more common than you think. So we had to bring in all the married couples on this shift to join in on the conversation. Taylor, no matter the love, people like sleeping in their own separate beds.
I get it.
Sleep is a top priority.
I get it.
Women are penalized in the workplace just for being mothers. As we told you Wednesday, study after study shows that. However, it changes if your job's remote.
I went fully remote during the pandemic.
FGCU professor Dr. Megan Baskin often works from her kitchen table with her two boys running around behind her.
I think it gives me the opportunity to get the work done in the way that is best for me, as well as take care of my family.
Mother of three, Marianne Bowen, also went remote during the pandemic and now does a hybrid.
Patty, my 6-month-old, would be like screeching in the background when I'm trying to take an important business call.
When Alexa Massey isn't showing houses, she's working at home to care for her 7, 5, and 6-month-old.
I remember my very first job, corporate. The second I became pregnant with my first daughter, everyone who I was working with kind of commented like, oh, you're done. Oh, we won't be seeing you again in 9 months.
What she's referring to is known as the motherhood penalty. Past studies show if you're a mom, your boss's perception of how committed you are and how well you work goes down, even if your work doesn't change.
Don't hide your kids. I think that we've done so much to try to fit ourselves into this ideal worker norm. It doesn't exist.
Remember Dr. Baskin? She studied the motherhood penalty in remote work. She created these fake employees over a Zoom-type platform and incorporated kids and toys to gauge supervisors' reactions. If there were just toys, bosses gave the mom a bad score.
There was comments like, she doesn't seem to be focusing on her work, her background was not professional.
But with the kids in the background, supervisors applauded the mom for doing it all.
I love it. I don't want to hide my kids. You know, I'm the most proud about being a mom.
Even Bowens noticed a shift since 2020.
It's incredible to see the change from day one when we went remote to today. It is completely acceptable to have a child pop in and ask you a question or need a snack on a regular basis.
She calls it watching humanitarianism unfold in real time. I say it's about time.
So I asked you all to answer a survey, and we have the results. Thank you to everyone who responded. The first one I want to focus on is, have you ever omitted that you missed a project or work hours because of your child? And 54% of you were honest and said, yes, I have. Now look at this one. I asked, have you ever lost an opportunity at work simply because you're a mother? A whopping 63% said yes. And then I asked if you're willing to elaborate. So here are some of the responses we've received. This first mother says, I have a 15-month-old and a 15-year-old. Over the years, I've been penalized for having to take off for appointments, emergencies, and special occasions. Most recently, I was let go after my maternity leave. And she goes on to say, when she got back to work, they made a point to tell me I can't check in on my newborn during work hours because it's distracting. Could you imagine being told that? Yeah. Another mom says, and I think this is interesting, working single mothers are often overlooked when it comes to professional opportunities. I mean, my attention to detail and time management skills are second to none. But sure, I must have too much on my plate already. What a simple-minded reasoning. Finally, this comment wasn't about losing a job or promotion. I thought it was interesting, though. One mom says she snuck out of work to watch an assembly and volunteer at her child's school.
And I think the way we think about work for a lot of us is changing these days, especially parents, but it's terrible if they have to choose which is more important.
Yeah, and I think the bottom line here, if you're having to sneak out, stop doing that kind of stuff. You know, what Dr. Baskin says is be open and honest because we're seeing a shift.
That's good to know.
Last year, Ann Langford treated herself to this red pickup, but in July, her truck broke down.
Okay, the thermostat dropped to 160. Over here it read, engine was hot.
Little did Ann know that was the least of her problems. When she had her truck fixed, she didn't expect to pay the $350 repair bill because she was paying for an extended warranty.
It does. It really upsets me. You know, I work hard for my money. I wonder how many more people they've done this to.
That warranty is laid out in her finance agreement with Arcadia Chevrolet Buick, where she got the truck. You can see Ann bought a service contract with a company called Zurich, a top insurer. The only problem, Zurich had no record of her.
They didn't even know who I was.
So where did her money go?
I got big bucks out on the line. I want my money back.
Wink News Call for Action tried to help Ann get that money. Twice our volunteers called the dealership. Twice they were hung up on. When I called Arcadia Chevrolet Buick, I was hung up on too. Another time, I was told the finance manager would not talk to me.
When I went in to talk to the finance manager, he acted like he didn't even want to talk to me.
So we decided to go to the dealership for answers. Guess who we saw first?
Hi, Ray.
The finance manager that ducked my phone calls.
I'm Lindsey Sablan. I'm with Wink News. I'm here to talk to you about Miss Ann Langford. You signed a contract for her. She's paying money for an extended warranty, and she doesn't have it. Can you tell me anything about that?
But Ray wouldn't answer.
Ray?
In fact,
out the back door.
So we took our questions to the only person who wouldn't walk away, Tom Hunt, who says he's the corporate controller.
We tried to make phone calls to see if we could figure it out.
But it's more fun to do it this way, isn't it?
It's not more fun, honestly. It's an hour drive for us. Yeah. She's out a lot of money.
And this conversation went on.
That's the way you're going to do business. No, I don't want it. I'm done.
and on.
Why is she paying for an extended warranty and there isn't one that exists? There's no policy through Zurich.
Okay, that is a question.
And on.
And I can find the solution, so without being on TV.
Okay.
You know, it is fun. It's my color, right?
Not giving up, we told Tom we were going to wait outside until he had a solution. Their cameras rolling as we stood there. 2 hours later.
It's 11:51. We're going to go in again and see if we can get some answers.
And we came out with answers. The dealership agreed to pay Ann her money. We thought everything was resolved. Meanwhile, Wink News Call for Action kept digging. We found in the last 3 years, the state's received 16 complaints regarding Arcadia Chevrolet Buick. In 13 of those cases, the dealership violated state regulations. One case is still open. As for Ann, she never got the check she was promised during that first trip.
It's Lindsay with Wink News, and I've got Miss Langford on the line as well.
So we had to call several more times and visit the dealership again. This time, Ann walked out with the $2,900 she financed for the warranty.
Oh, yeah, I'm really happy about it.
In the end, it took 7 weeks, a dozen phone calls, and 2 trips to the dealership before Arcadia Chevrolet Buick rectified their mistake.
Couldn't have done it without you guys.